Good evening, everybody. UltimatDJz here from the Talking Trek podcast with another video for you on Star Trek Fleet Command, the October Duality launch, and just good night in heaven, the ridiculous amount of content that we have to cover. I mean, this has been just so much stuff, and we haven't done enough videos. We have not gotten enough research. I mean, there is so much to uncover, and this video is going to be focused on the 0.1%. But you know what? It's not even that. I know that there are players out there who are 46, 48, 49, maybe 50 who are interested in some of this data. But you know what? I welcome to the stage tonight my level 50 bro friends. Actually, I can't even say that anymore, right? Neither one of you are level 50 anymore. I welcome my friends Gregor and Bubba to the stage. And tell me, well, Gregor, I know you punched Ops 52 tonight. Bubba, where are you right now? You're no longer a level 50 either.
No, I'm a 51. I've got 3 buildings left to get to 52.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? We've got a poll in our Discord about what we're going to have to rename the level 50 bros, because it can't be a level... I mean, I guess we could make it a level 60 bro. Maybe just every ops level above 50, you're a bro. I have no idea. We're searching for a new name for you guys, but I'll tell you.
Schmucks.
Fools? Does that count? No, I'm kidding. No, obviously, I'm super excited for you guys. And you know what I've noticed here today, Bubba, is a ton of players are asking questions about G5, and not just players that are 48 plus, 49 plus. Like somebody said, why would you make a video about this? Like there's 100 people that are going to care. I don't think that's true. I think this gives players a glimpse into the future. I can't tell you how many Ops level 30 players today, Gregor, have been asking questions about G5. And it's not because we feel like we're going to be there in a month or two. It's, I don't know what the mentality is.
I'm curious.
You know, I know I'm probably going to be 2 years away from this content, but it's interesting to see what Scopely has designed, what would be in the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are going to switch over our screen here, and we are going to thank Gregor, who now has control. We are looking at Gregor's screen here tonight, and we've got a couple of things that we're going to show you. Some your first real look inside of Ops 51 Plus. We're going to start here with the dailies. Gregor, you had mentioned to me earlier today, gosh, every single one of these dailies have changed, right? They have scaled every mission in here to adjust their payouts. Show us what you were talking about.
Yeah, all the daily chests have been updated. So I've claimed a couple today. You can't really see, but there's about 3 billion parts still in these two.
Oof.
And another half a billion titanium. So these got they were worthless before, right? Even at 50. So now they actually scaled them, which is great. And for the actual missions themselves, they've definitely scaled these as you go up. Like now I have to hit 25 52s. I'm guessing that Borg thing's not going to work anymore. The swarm thing,
yeah, but look at that payout. I mean, now, see, here's the thing. Here's what players may not realize, and this is the grand scale, right, Bubba? This is what players at my level, we can't fathom, all right? But I look at this payout, and I'm thinking, my God, 5,000 of these broken parts. I mean, that must equate to hundreds of hostiles hit, right, as far as payout? But then, you know, your guys' costs are just astronomical compared to what we would expect down here. Like you say, your daily's giving you 3 billion steel. I mean, to me, that sounds outrageous, but to you, it's a drop in the bucket, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. That's going to get me an academy upgrade in about a year.
So. Oh God, that's disgusting.
Yeah,
that's disgusting. Anything else in these dailies you wanted to show? Let me look at. Let's look at something that wouldn't. Oh, where's your swarm? Did that change? Did that scale up?
It did not. So these are identical, and the regular swarm ones are identical also. So the only thing that changed really was the mining.
Did you already do the regular swarm ones?
Yeah, I already did.
Okay.
Ones, yeah. So the only ones that really changed were the hostile and the mining, like these two. All the faction ones are obviously tied to your faction levels, so those don't change. The biotics ones don't change. They're all the same. But it's just these two and the other hostile ones that scale differently. Also, for the daily research, Bubba pointed out you have to do 2 daily researches now, not just one.
Ouch.
to check in your daily. But again, they much improved the daily chest payout, so that was good.
Well, so it's given you guys at least a better scaled version of resources. Let's take a look at something else that could scale resources on a daily basis, possibly. And let's take a look at some of the daily mini events. Now, we are less than, at the time of taping, we are less than 24 hours in. So we take a look at some of these daily mini events, and some of them are on the old scale, right? But this one you're getting ready to show us right here. This officer event, it's actually running right now. This is a routine officer XP event. You got to spend 450,000 officer XP, right? Easy peasy for most players. I mean, whether you're Ops 35 or whether you're Ops 55, spending 450,000 officer XP is not overly difficult. Take a look at this payout right here. Bubba, what are you seeing here? I mean, does this scale appropriately for you? Do you feel like it's maybe still not enough, or were you pleasantly surprised at these payouts?
I was pleasantly surprised, but it remains to be seen what the costs of doing the ships, or the G5 ships, are going to be, right? So, I mean, the parts are very nice, but, you know, if 1 billion tritanium is now kind of like, you know, 10 million tritanium for G5, you know, we're not going to know. But I think that it's definitely a step in the right direction. It's greatly appreciated that they went through the effort to increase the daily events, and showing one right now from the officer event for earlier, the ranked officer event. And that's a lot of dilithium and a lot of latinum. So again, it's very much appreciated that Scopely has said, okay, we're looking at the economy for G5. Let's try and make the economy work right. And we're very early into it, but from where it looks right now, at least they're making the attempt and trying to put the best foot forward. So that's appreciated.
Yeah, you bring up a solid point. When G4 launched, nothing changed. When G4 launched, it was the G3 economy that was expected to carry you through the introduction of G4. And one very noticeable difference here, Gregor, is that at the launch of G5, they have immediately, whether it's enough remains to be seen, but they have immediately taken steps to scale the level 51 plus economy, the G5 economy, by adjusting all of these events. You were just showing one a second ago with all that dill. You're taking a look. Now, this looks to be one of the old ones. That was just 30 million trite.
Yeah, it seems like you get 2 new ones and 2 old ones simultaneously.
So, and who even knows if that's working right? Because you've got 4 dailies going on right now. So who even knows if that's accurate? But show another one of the new ones if you've got one handy.
It should be this one here, another station one. So again, the bump here is mostly in Latinum.
So that is still a bump. Well, yeah, 21,000 Latinum. It does not look like much of a bump in the actual recruit token payouts, though.
Well, this is a milestone. So add all
that was a milestone. The ultra recruit tokens are up.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all up, and again, you're stacking all these together, right, to hit this 12,000. So,
and again, 12,000 is not a wildly unreasonable milestone. Given, I mean, even at Ops 41, mine usually
now it's not
10,000
because we have things to build. So,
and you've been stuck.
At least
you've been stuck. You've been capped out. Okay. So daily mini events, guys, look like they are scaled and actually now giving level 51 plus players something to work towards, which has probably been a feeling you guys haven't had for a minute. Speaking of events, Gregor, let's take a look at this special event. We noticed something in the in-game news center today that talked about early adoption for players who were going to make this jump to 51 early. And when I say early, I presumably mean during this arc. You guys were going to get a special event. And this is what popped for you. When you hit Ops 51, you got this, the Romulan Power Move Solo Milestone. Tell us a little bit about this event. First of all, what did you have to do, and what did it pay you?
You almost just had to do your dailies once you hit 51. And by killing 50 level 50 hostiles, you progressed up the milestones. So these are all additive rewards. And when you hit the top one, you got a pretty substantial payout. In aggregate, it was about 600,000 Latinum, 60 billion par steel.
Oh my God.
It was close to like 20 plus billion dilithium. And then you got a bunch of G5 materials.
Look at all that look at all that common. And you know, for some of the G4 players still to this day, we have not seen common in event rewards, not nearly enough. As a matter of fact, the only way that we got common, the only way that you got common, Gregor, the only way that you got common, Bubba, was through scrapping ships. That was the only way you guys got it. And now
we actually only got it through packs because there was not scrapping when G4 first came out.
Back when I was a kid, we scrapped ships uphill both ways in the snow. So again, Bubba, to your point a minute ago, nice to see Scopely actually maybe taking an effort to try to head off some of the sourcing problems. You scroll down a little bit there, Gregor, you see 14,000 G5 common, which I would imagine, Gregor, as you've done some of your early building, are you spending a great deal of uncommon yet, or are you still in a very common phase?
All common, pretty much so far. But again, I just went Ops 52, so I'm sure now it's going to start converting, right, on the 52 buildings to a little bit of uncommon.
Well, still kind of good to see. Bubba, you saw this event as well as you punched into Ops 51. If you were expressing your satisfaction or dissatisfaction with the way that this event has presented, how do you feel about this?
This event is fantastic. It gave you enough common. That's why I stopped. I stopped because I said, okay, we'll have to buy a couple of packs for common or convert Latinum. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to stop right now, kind of reevaluate where I want to get to. But this event allowed me to kind of start to advance some of those buildings to get to potentially Ops 52. And it was greatly appreciated that this was available to us, that we could try and mess around with it. It is encouraging me to want to spend more money so that I can see what's next around the corner. Whereas if I was looking at a building that was going to cost me, 500 billion steel, and I'm like, I can't get there, and it's going to take me 500 days. And this allows players to kind of see what's out there and see what the potential is. I think it was it's part of what I've been talking about. Let the players see a little bit of what's behind the curtain, and they're going to want to invest to do things faster, to do more things.
It's weird, Bubba. It's like the Scopely that we have for October is not the Scopely we've had for 3 years. It's just weird because we're seeing test drives all around us. That's been your big campaign, has been test driving. It's been Big's big campaign to talk about officer sourcing, and here Scopely's like, okay, done and done, and done and done and done and done. Photon tokens, done. It's mind-blowing. Let's, Bubba, did you have a chance? I know you're the math guy. Did you take this pack and did you equate it into what it would look like from a paid pack perspective? Gregor, you had mentioned this earlier. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and hop into your pay store and take a look at some of these packs. I know I'm going a little bit out of order, but Bubba, when you're talking about the rewards that came in that special event, that one-off event, did either of you guys look at what the quote-unquote monetary value would be if you just had to spend straight out to get there?
Well, I feel like it was somewhere between $400 to $500 in value.
One event.
Somewhere in there. One event. Yeah, only because, this was, again, that was a level 51 event, right? So my pack is at 52 right now, but at a 51 event, it was about 2 to 3 parts still, like station packs, but then it was so dilithium heavy that would have been multiple research packs. So probably an aggregate with all the resources and everything, I feel like a $400 value would probably be about right.
Bubba, you concur?
Yeah, and it's not just that. Like, if you look at the G5 common there, that top milestone had 14,000. You're only getting 5,000 from the pack. And as I had mentioned to you earlier in the day, the conversion rate for common is just as bad for G5 as it was for G4. So that is going to be costly to convert. It is worse, yes.
What is that rate? We know G 20. Oh my God, it was 10 to 1 at G4, and I thought it was bad. So it's 20 Latinum for one common G5. That makes me want to gag myself with a rusty fork. Okay, so we're looking here at a level 52 station pack. And what I'm seeing here, Gregor, is roughly 500 billion steel. Roughly, right? 500 billion steel.
Over, yeah.
This, and again, to give perspective to 30 level players and 40 level players, this looks ridiculous. Like if I had one of these packs, I could go to 46. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe not. But,
yeah.
but
if you at your level could get the equivalent of this pack, that would be.
It would be insane,
dramatic.
right?
Yeah.
So what is this pack doing for you? And I know we're going a little bit out of order, but if you don't care,
Just retrieving.
let's. Oh yes, retrieving. Well, we're so glad that pack label is still here. Some things don't change in Ops 51 Plus. All right, so $500 billion steel. Does that get you anywhere? Why don't you show me a building? Show me a building inside that big, beautiful level 52 base of yours. So let's take a look. We were talking about the Academy earlier. Let's take a look at the Academy. The Academy is currently level 51. We got to go to 52. Oh, my God. It's still not enough. It would cost you $200, even with the advanced scaling inside those packs. It would still cost you $200 to upgrade a single building. Is that right?
Yeah, it'd be more than that to pick up the uncommon and common you need. But yeah, it would be like 3 or 4 packs just to pick up all the resources from 0. Yep.
That's still, I mean, so how would you, Bubba, compare this scaling with maybe that of G4? Like I've heard comments. I know people have said, I shouldn't have to spend hundreds of dollars to do a single building. But here we're looking and it looks like it would probably still be at least $200, maybe $300 to do this building. Is this a scaled G5 economy like you would be satisfied with, or is this still kind of missing the mark?
Well, it's very similar to G4, right? When you look at what you had to do when you're talking about the mid 40s, 44, 45, 46, and higher, to do certain buildings, like the Academy, some of the vaults, things like that, you were having to get 2 station packs to get the steel, or you were having to get a station pack and a research pack to get the steel and then the dilithium or whatever you needed. And it's basically the same type of economy. It's just been amped up so that you're really separate from what the economy was pre-50.
Gregor, you showed me something just absolutely disgusting a second ago. I don't know if it was I think it was a vault. Was it a vault that you showed us? No, that's a tritanium generator. Can you show us one of these vaults? What are you protecting at this level? So, that is so disappointing. 290 million trite. And again, that sounds like a lot, right, G3 players?
But look at how much it increased, DJ. Look at how much that increased, right? It's almost a 33% increase.
Okay, so you actually are you feeling like the vaults are offering you a little value now compared to their cost?
Well, the costs are still outrageous. Don't get me wrong. The whole economy of the vaults and everything, but at least it's scaling, somewhat. It's becoming almost relevant, right? You're not going to get to 150 something billion. Remember, there is some research that enhances this, but I don't think they've ever gone up by 33%. I'd have to go back and look. They'd go up by 10% or 15%, and they're making big jumps post 50.
So indicating that very possibly, and listen, I don't think that it's any secret now. We look at this launch as compared to the G4 launch, and while the cost may be magnificent, there definitely was better planning, it looks like, and better foresight involved in some of the buffs that you guys are getting as compared to the cost. Agreed?
I'm going to disagree on the vaults. I don't think this is any different, really. I mean, 7 billion at 60 is going to be almost nothing.
Probably true.
292 million at 52 is nothing.
Well, 292 million. I mean, I know ops level 35 players that are holding 250 million. So it's not. And when you look at a pack like what you guys are getting, okay, so 250 million. What are you getting out of one ship pack? You know what? I take that back. You know what? Let's do 2 birds, 1 stone. Go to your multiphasic store, because I wanted to touch on that too. Let's go to the multiphasic store and see if has anybody mapped this out, by the way, Bubba? Is this still offering you guys roughly in that 7 to 10% range?
Well, here, let me go check.
And as Gregor is pointing out right here, we're looking at the Battleship Power Pack. 2.8 billion tritanium is what's available just in the multiphasic pack. So assume that is 10%. Then you're looking at 28 billion out of a ship pack, which we'll double check here in just a second. 28 billion out of a ship pack. So yeah, Gregor, I'm kind of with you. 250 million sounds like it's just another 10 levels of the stupidest building in the entire game.
It is. Yeah, they didn't really scale it at all. I mean, it just happens to look big because they keep scaling the numbers, but it's the same
garbage vault.
Yeah.
I wish I could burn it down. Go ahead, Bubba.
So my pack at 51 is 62 billion tritanium, and 3 of these would be 8.4 billion. So, but that could just be the difference in between the 51 and the 52 pack. So it could be a little bit better than 10%, but it's probably right at 10%.
It probably is, because the packs, Gregor, you indicated that the 51 pack was different. This 52 pack is better than your 51 pack was.
It is 25% roughly better. Yep.
Okay. So there's a quick glance at your multiphasic store, and even and by the way, don't forget, these are 3%. What you're seeing is 3% because you still pull it 3 times. All right, so what you're seeing, folks, is 3% of their pack, and I'm here to tell you, this 3% is Gregor, it's about equal to $100 for me. All right, Ops 35, Stevens Arian, anybody, look at this real quick and tell me that this is not worth more than $100 in your store right now.
Oh, most definitely.
But it still buys them.
Small.
It still buys them next to nothing. You know, it just,
kudos to Scopely for actually including G5, G4, and G3 in this thing, and not forgetting one of the materials. Like, they're very unscopely, and they deserve some credit for getting it right out of the box.
Well, you had mentioned that earlier, and almost every redemption that you were pulling, there's G3, 4, and 5 there, and you're still using all those materials. I was going to look at Alliance Exocomps next, but we'll come back to that. Why don't we look very quickly at your loyalty chest, the new photon tokens. Let's take a quick peek at that super fast and just see how this chest is scaling for you as well, because you had mentioned earlier that it was giving you all 3 materials as well, right?
It is, yep, all the way up to uncommon G5, but including all the G4 ship parts. So they normally, when they do one of these, they forget something, they leave it out, they don't think about it, and I think they actually did a really good job of trying to be inclusive on this stuff.
Well, but I don't see any G5 ship parts in this one. Why?
Yeah, there's no G5 ship parts in this one.
But this is Ops 52, and
yeah.
you wouldn't have a ship yet.
That's true. I guess, yeah, because there's no survey parts. So yeah, this would only be warships. So I guess at 53, I would expect this to roll into G5 warship.
Into G5. Yeah. Well, 53, I guess maybe G5 survey, right? That's where the Nova unlocks. Is
52 at the Nova.
That's 52 at the Nova. So maybe
53 is the warships. Yeah.
Okay. All right. See, we're all walking through it together. All right. So good looking here. Yeah, Bubba, please.
That is the identical pack as 51. So we'll have to see if it ends up scaling at a future ops level based on how much it went up.
On the 30-day chest.
Yep.
Okay, very good. So right now, at least we're seeing that Ops 51 and 52 are the same, and that's possible. We have seen some other Ops brackets that have
way better than it was pre the update, though. Way better.
And it is absolutely, Gregor's right. The concern that many people had with the reorganization of the chest when it first was being hinted at many months ago, it's like, oh, we're thinking about doing this. There were lots of conflicting opinions. Give me G4, keep the G3, but make it more. This is, I think, beyond what anyone really expected it was going to be, because they kept the G3, they added the G4 materials, they added the G4 parts, they added the G5. Like, they didn't take anything away, which is, like you said earlier, somewhat unscopely like. So it is very appreciated that they just made the pack better.
Well, and not only that, but they doubled the output, because with the photon tokens, you're now pulling 7 days every week and a 30-day every month. You're literally getting twice as much. So good moves there. While we're talking about materials, because we got to get ready to wrap up, while we're talking about materials, Gregor, let's take a quick look at your refinery. How much G5 are you going to have to mine? We talked a minute ago about Ops 52 being where you actually can unlock the Nova. It does have at this point, we do know that it does have a reputation requirement of 1.1 billion, which is only 100 million higher than where your previous ops lock was. I say only 100 million, but really truthfully, Gregor, you've already identified this is probably for you about a 4 to 5 day grind to get to 1.1 billion and be able to unlock the Nova, correct?
That's right. Yeah, like just tonight I did 25 million pretty easily in the background. So it'll be, the 1.1 will be pretty fast. And
1.1 is where you're going to unlock the Nova. The Nova, as we determined earlier, takes 150 blueprints. Its blueprint cost, thank you to a player, I think Spock's Avenger was able to get us this data from a player he knows. Those blueprints will cost 3,000 faction credits per blueprint, which sounds crazy to me. Again, this is talking about economy of scale. Sounds crazy to me, but Gregor, you were like, oh, I've got that. Like, you're ready to build the ship.
Yep. Yeah, that's not as bad as I actually thought it was going to be. So
we're looking here inside your G5 refinery. Now, this maybe does look a little sad. But what's your reaction?
Yeah, so this is 52. So this is the first level you can get the uncommon. And so I'm assuming these are going to start scaling as I go up, you know what I'm saying? And we'll get to hundreds possible every refine, but it'll be like the old refinery. I mean, that's a slow roll thing, right? Just like it was in G4.
Well, it's funny because a lot of players do talk about the refinery. They want the refinery to get better, but as Scopely has progressed within this game, they have made it very clear that the refinery is actually becoming less and less and less of a role inside their economy sourcing, Bubba. They're doing it with Battle Pass. They're doing it with event rewards. And it almost feels like the refinery is an afterthought, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel that the refinery should be an important part of your day? Gregor, are you going to be stressed out if you don't get to mine all this G5 right away?
Yes. But that's just me.
Fair enough.
And probably Bubba too.
Yeah, Bubba.
Yeah, I agree. It is an important thing, and I'm not going to be able to evaluate it until I can see the ship, right? If the ship is requiring that the scale of parts that we saw in G4, then I think that this is going to be workable, right? We're going to be able to get these amount of broken parts. We're going to be able to get some whole parts. If it's an order of magnitude higher, kind of like how G4 was an order of magnitude higher than G3, well, then we're kind of back where we were, and it's going to be a little frustrating.
I mean, look at this G4, right? 36,000 broken parts equals 1390 possible uncommon or common parts. If I compare that to my G5, I'm sorry. I'm still at G4. Disregard that. 3750 parts has a possible 1484 output. So we don't know the scaling yet, but it probably means it's going to be higher.
Well, very quickly, let's take a look at this. So go back to your G5. Oh, you're in your G5. So yeah, G5 Explore parts. So you got 1,400 available for 3,750. You were grinding hostiles here just a moment ago. Let's go to your Pylum system very quickly, where you're grinding level 50s with your Pylum. And we're just going to do this super quick. How many parts is one of these hostiles holding? See, that feels really low to me. Is that low to you? Does that feel low?
It's not that low, because if you're hitting him at Pylum and you have 5, which I do, then, I mean, we'll probably get, here, let's just, actually, I don't know, let's hit one and see what happens. But I think that'll turn into a few hundred parts. So if I kill 10 hostiles, I can do 1 chest refine. Yeah. So that's 336 parts off that ship. So again, people grinding those are going to have G4 rare, and they're going to end up with 350 parts. So figure what, 12 hostiles, I can do a single chest.
Well, is 12 now? I say is 12 hostiles reasonable, because I see here that you didn't take a ton of damage, but it certainly wasn't no damage like, Chen or Talon might end up being. What are you grinding with? Because you had shown me earlier, and this is huge, guys. If anybody has noticed this, or if anybody has noticed this or not noticed this, interestingly enough, Chen was said, hey, it's going to work. All right, it's going to work. Like Bubba, Chen was changed here not long ago, and then they put it back and said, hey, listen, we're going to let her work up through the level 51s that we got in the game, right? But 52 and higher is a whole new ball game, right? We're not breaking on this, right? Is that what it was? 51 and down traditionally in the game, or did it go up to 52? Where was that break?
So it was working on every hostile that existed in the game, which is up to 51. The rules text on Chen said 49 and under.
But then they gave you the 51. And then they said in the future, 52s were not going to work. But now, Gregor, you noticed something crazy today. And I actually did hear a couple of players bring this up, and I didn't know how to respond. You said with the new hostiles in the game, starting at level 50, Chen no longer functions. Is this correct?
That's correct. Chen no longer functions on any of the new hostiles in the new systems, even if they're level 50.
And why? What's the indicator? Do you have any idea what's setting these things apart?
All the new hostiles seem to have the ship ability, so they get like an actual, almost like captain's ability against you. And so I figure maybe that's I don't know what Scopely did on the back end, but that seems to be the delineation.
But if you see this symbol, then you know that Chen is not going to get you what you need. And you actually now need to start planning a crew. It's almost as though you are possibly even PvPing with the computer hostile, right? Because they've got abilities now, and you've got to counter them. They've got ship types, they've got abilities, and you have to go around them. Bubba, what are you using to grind these new hostiles?
Well, I'm using, like Gregor, I'm going to use the rare ships because I want the extra loot for reputation and parts, right? So that's still going to be my primary goal, but I'm going to be limited by how far I can get in, right? Because they're not nearly as high tier, so I'm going to not be able to quite get to the same systems that he can. But I think that's still going to be the right play. If you can kill them with your G4 rare ships, getting the extra loot, getting the extra parts, that's going to be the best way to advance. And then as far as crew is concerned, we're back to 5 of 10. 5 of 10 provides so much advantage in both loot and defense. It is such a powerful officer. And then my recommendation would be whatever boosts your ship the best, whether that's 5 and 6 or 5 and 7, or and then the other person is whoever your next best officer is. If you've got if you do want to put this on something like a Tribune or a Hecta and you want to give it whole breach or burning, totally makes sense. For the rare ships, it just makes sense to go with Khan. Man, now that might be replaced by someone in the future. You know, it's possible that the new Worf could maybe fit that role. I haven't looked at the battle logs exclusively to see how many rounds we're going, but I think that's a possibility. So
well, see,
we're going to
Worf,
have some options in the future.
Here's the crazy thing, all right? Worf is specifically programmed or specifically stated as a PvP officer, but...
Oh, shoot.
Well, but hang on, Bubba. These hostiles are not behaving as NPCs because Chen is not working. Is it possible that these abilities... Is it possible that these captain's abilities are actually making these PvP style NPCs? That's possible. Testing, I don't think we could rule that out. Chen is not working here. You know?
Yeah,
so
we need Ripper probably to.
There's a reason for that. So I tell you what, we've gone way too long, but I want to thank everybody for watching, and golly, thanks to Bubba and Gregor for giving us our first real in-depth look inside of Ops 51 Plus. And again, I said at the beginning of the video, I know that this is only going to be mechanically important to very, very few of you, but I felt that it was an important video to make. Why is that tritanium? And why are you trying to mine tritanium up there?
So if you look, it's actually green here.
It is green.
Yeah, I don't know if that's wrong. I think it's just we're so used to it being red, like
maybe it's rotten.
Red.
Maybe it waited for you for 3 years. It's been sitting out here for 3 years, Gregor, waiting for someone to come and mine it. It's spoiled. The thing is, while mechanically this is not going to be important to very many people, I think, as you said at the beginning, Gregor, it's wildly interesting to see what is potentially out here. And what the future holds for this game. The last thing I'm going to ask you to do for the last 60 seconds, if you don't care, please, Gregor, will you show me your D?
I don't have it. Wait, I'm not saying that.
Let's open up the ship carousel, everybody. Let's take a look at some of these new ships. And again, we will do a follow-up video with Bubba and with Gregor when we actually, and probably, hopefully, with Ripper, when we actually have a chance to get into the nitty-gritty on the data. The data is still not published. We are still waiting. The votes are still coming in. If you're Georgia, okay? We're still waiting on the data to be certified and published. So things like upgrade cost and things like statistical bonuses and level bonuses and ship abilities. This is some stuff that while we can have some very early information, we can speculate a little bit. We don't have all the data yet. And a video is coming very, very soon where we will get it for you, and we'll bring Ripper on, we'll bring Bubba back, and Gregor to actually break down what the math looks like and what it means for the future of the G5 economy. But in the meantime, I don't see how we can't leave this video right here, Snake Eyes. I'm not even going to go back to the splash screen. I think this is a perfect, I want this as a wallpaper. Ladies and gentlemen, the Enterprise D, in all her beautiful and pristine glory, has made it into Star Trek Fleet Command. And yes, I get it. For many players, even you, Gregor, this ship is easily 6 to 12 months away. Bubba, have you started your predictions yet? How long for you to hit level 60 and pick up this beauty?
No. It's going to really depend on how much the economy is affixed through events. And we've started to see a little bit of that with the events they've shown us. But it was a slog to get to 50. I'm not super motivated to do that slog again. But if there are milestones that can be reached incrementally, there's obviously going to be a desire to get to that point. But that ship is so pretty. That ship
let me ask
so
you,
pretty.
I said, and I don't mean to take more time. I'm going to do this real quick. I said in the beginning that I felt it was a mistake for Scopely to put this ship so far into the distant future for all players. Even if you were already a level 50, I felt like it was a mistake to make this ship so distant into the future. But looking at this ship, and I know I'm going to ask you a very unfair question, and whales everywhere are probably, like, their heartbeat is elevated right now. Are you motivated? Did Scopely's plan work? Are you motivated to get to 60 to get this ship, or are you having to reality check yourself and say, listen, this ship is truly 2 years away from me?
I am 100% reality check. I mean, it's a beautiful model. I am a huge fan of the next generation, as I've kind of indicated before. This ship looks amazing as far as the way it looks. It looks like they've captured it very well in the game. But it's a reality check for me. Like I said, the grind to 50 was too much. I really have to reevaluate how I'm going to try and get to 60.
Gregor, how about you?
Same.
The same.
Same. I'm probably not even going to aim for this first. So I'm going to probably aim for a different faction.
Well, it is a beautiful ship, but there are two other ships. There are two other factions, and we will talk about them in a future video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gone so long. I'm so sorry that you had to sit through 40 minutes of this, but your first real true in-depth look behind G5, and Gregor, we've only scratched the surface. We've got more to come, everybody. Thank you for staying tuned in. Thank you for watching as long as you did. Thank you to Gregor and Bubba for giving us the absolute most insight into G5 that anybody in the galaxy has done here so far. Thank you guys for being our early adopters and our testers. You truly are the best of what Talking Trek has to offer. My name is UltimatDJz. I've been your host, and this has been Teaching Trek here on the YouTube. Please leave your thumbprint on that thumbs up. Give us a like, all right? Subscribe to the channel. Click that bell so you know when more of our great content is coming out. Leave your questions and comments in the video section, or the comment section below the video, and we'll try to get some of those answered for you as well as time goes on. Thank you so much. My name is UltimatDJz, your friendly neighborhood cat person saying adieu. I bid you farewell for now until the next video. We've got so much more to come. You guys stay tuned right here on the channel for so much more. We'll catch you on the next one. Love you, mean it. Meow. Good night.